Oh boy. Good evening, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Rants and Raves. Tonight we will be going over marriage, marriage stuff. Um, as all of you guys know, I've been doing this podcast for well over 2 years now, 3 years, coming up on 3 years actually, as a matter of fact. Um, and all credits given where credits due, guys. If it wasn't for channels like Fresh and Fit, Entrepreneurs in Cars, Success Chasers, Success Chasers as far as um, Jordan Peterson is concerned. Okay, I wouldn't have the mindset I have right now. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, and I certainly wouldn't have the gumption that I have right now for this side of the dating aspect and self improvement. So I feel like this is important. Um, so we're gonna go over two videos tonight. For the first one being obviously um, how the state encourages women to divorce men. We'll watch it. We'll discuss it, and we'll just start off right here for now.
I want to talk about how the state encourages women to divorce men. So this came from a commenter by the name of Kim Brown in one of my older videos, probably from about 4 years ago, because I published this book 2 years ago. She says in her comment, okay, talking about a divorce video, the thing that infuriates me is my hubby makes about $50,000 a year. I make about half that. But when you're talking to people about taking responsibility for themselves, you do realize that if I were to leave my hubby and become a single mother with government benefits, I'd have way more money. Follow me through here. What we pay in taxes as a couple, opposed to what the government would give me if I was on my own, isn't even close. Okay, I'm going to say it again. She would be making more money as a single mother, leaving her husband, than what she does as a married couple. Let me carry on through here. Um, so when women leave the husbands, they are improving their situation. Until that changes, nothing else will. It's sickening when society rewards those who make bad choices. So she's pissed off because one of her coworkers, and they're comparing notes, revealed that because they make the same money, both these two chicks make the exact same money. Her husband makes 50 grand, but the government tops up the difference plus the alimony plus the child support, gives her more money than what they have as a couple. So she goes on to say, my friend who's a single mother who does the same job and makes the same money as me, we sat down and compared our finances and all the subsidies and tax breaks she receives and income from the exes and the government. She has about $1,000 a month more than my family in disposable income. So a single mommy working the exact same job without a husband in the house, getting all the support from Big Daddy government, Big Daddy X, has about $1,000 a month more than her family in disposable income. To me, that's not just rewarding single mommies; it's actively punishing middle to low income women for staying with the father of their children.
We're gonna pause that because that's an important thing to really get on here. In back in the day, many moons ago, excuse me, when people got married, okay, uh, you know, two people would come together, okay, and the wife's family would bring in a dowry, and a dowry was a basic uh, thank you, because back in the olden days, all women were, sorry, not sorry, warm, wet holes. And it turned into, well, why should you pick this one? Well, back in the old days, of course, all women cooked, all women cleaned. It was a pretty generic uh, system back then. So dowries were there as incentives to men to help out not only in the marriage aspect, but to help that family from that point forward. So a man would, of course, marry a woman, pick a woman. That woman would come to live with him, and of course, there would be land, X amount of pigs, sheep, roosters, that sort of thing, chickens. And then the dowry would be something like 500 head of cow, or 2 dozen chickens, um, something along those lines, and that was an incentive to not only to pick that woman, but also as a gift to help set that family on its correct course for future babies and future generations, of course. So marriage back in the day served an entirely different purpose than it does nowadays. Nowadays, it's only there for tradition's sake, right? Nowadays, it serves no physical purpose beyond, how do you say, beyond having a traditional look in your home for your kids' sake.
She's not wrong. So you have to understand, guys, the laws incentivize women to behave badly in a divorce situation, and it also incentivizes women to leave a marriage because they'll get more money and not have to deal with his dumb ass either, right? If you don't know this, there's been lots of research done on this, by the way, but the interest that you have in your girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever it is that you're with right now, for men, it goes down, but it goes down very steady over time. With women, it's like a hockey stick. It's like almost like right from the get-go, from the honeymoon phase, it's like, and then it kind of like goes down even more after that. Okay. So you need to be captivating as fuck if you're a dude, if you want to keep a chick around. It's one of the 7 pillars that I talk about. I did a podcast 3-4 months ago. You can go back and look that up. But the 7th pillar is being captivating, essentially not being boring. Anyway, so the state encourages women to get divorced. So those are the 4 main points. If you want to get into the weeds and really into the details, just get my book. I'll link it below. It's on Amazon. Married men. I don't know. We can talk about that, or we can get into the blog. What do you guys want to do? I can get right into the weeds here. So now, setting aside family law, alimony, child support, women are motivated by the laws and by the government to leave their husbands, domestic violence, all that stuff. Another big problem is that when men get into marriages, things change for men, and not for the better. So before leading up to the divorce bullshit, there's generally a process of shit testing, consecutive shit testing. If you don't know what that is, they're basically competency tests where women just irritate men. They nag them, they do silly things, and they're really just trying to test their competency as a man. It's called a shit test, also known as betatization through 1,000 concessions. It usually starts with something like, honey, don't brush your teeth over there. You're going to get toothpaste on the carpet, to make sure your white socks go in the white hamper and your dark clothes go in the dark hamper, to let's go vegan together, to let's spice up the relationship and invite a bull in so that I can cuck you and you can sit there and watch. So betatization through 1,000 concessions, it can go through a total different number of sequence of events, but it all ends in the exact same spot. You don't look like an alpha to her anymore. You look like a beta male. And women are not attracted to beta males over a long-term basis.
We're going to pause that again because this is an important note. Women give men what's called shit tests. This is something that they do 9 times out of 10 subconsciously, although I've met women in my life who have done this consciously. And this isn't just a thing that occurs in relationships. It's things that women do while dating as well. One of the important things to note here is that women will shit test men. They'll put men through shit tests. They'll, test their competency is what we'll call it. For example, one of my boundaries is clean shaven. I have some personal issues in my life, in my past, and I can't do clean shaven vagine. It's not my cup of tea. And one of the many shit tests that I've received in that information in the process of dating is, oh well, I'm gonna come over, clean shaven, and I'm gonna have you try and eat it. No, and that of course has failed. And of course, inadvertently, or whatever design they thought up in their head, not only does it not happen, but then they get booted. I've actually had that happen twice in the last several years that not several years, but in the last year I've been living here. I've had 2 different women come over here and try and shit test me with that clean shaven shit after I specifically said I've got like it's not even like a preference thing. It's really like a mental thing for me. I can't fuck with it, so please don't do it. And they would shit test with it to test my competency to see if I was really about what I was saying, and it failed, of course. Another one that I've personally gotten is I've specifically said no male friends. Right, that's one of my boundaries. And one of the competency tests, one of the shit tests is, oh well, I was talking to this guy, my friend, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, so you were talking to this dude after I made it very clear that you weren't to be talking to this dude, and they were like, yeah, blah blah whatever, and so that just meant that we had sex a couple times, whatever, and then they went about their way. Then they ask, well, how come you never took me seriously? Wham wham. And here's the thing, men don't have to. When you go to a bad restaurant, okay, actually, I just had this conversation earlier with a friend of mine. When you go to a bad restaurant and the chef makes you something disgusting, I don't know. Well, let's say you order baked macaroni and cheese and it comes out wet, okay. You're not going to go storming back to the kitchen and telling that cook, hey, your mac and cheese is fucking dog shit, right? You're just not going to go back to the restaurant, right? It's as simple as that. It's the same way with dating, okay? When a woman does something that you don't approve of, you don't scold her for it like a dog, not in the dating process. Now, once you're together, then yes, you have to keep her, heel in toe. But in that dating process, you don't need to. I mean, you need to make your boundaries clear, of course, but you don't need to talk about what it is that you did wrong, because I made it clear what you do wrong, what you do right. Does that make sense? So, I shouldn't have to tell a woman, hey, get off Instagram. Hey, hey, lose those male friends, or hey, ditch that dude. I think he's a fuckboy. Well, blah blah blah. So women will very frequently shit test men, frequently, all the time. And like I said, 9 times out of 10, it's a subconscious thing. And this isn't just something that they do in marriages, although towards the end of a marriage, heading into the divorce, again, subconsciously, women will periodically shit test men and give them these competency tests to see if they're alpha or not. Because, like we just heard, betatization, beta mindset, men aren't attractive for the long term toward women at all. Women don't enjoy going to work. Women don't enjoy, getting on top and writing every night. Women don't enjoy making all the calls and paying the bills, that sort of thing, okay? Women say that they want equality, but at the end of the day, they really don't, okay? Women really, really enjoy having rules and boundaries set in place for them to live and reside in, okay? So with that being said and having that understanding, women going into a relationship and exiting from a relationship, or thinking about it anyways, will shit test men frequently just to see if they're still up to par. And if, of course, you fail those shit tests, not only will they not get into that relationship with you because you failed those shit tests, but then in the conscious thought of heading out of that relationship, they won't give you a second thought. If you failed those shit tests, you're on the way to the divorce, and there's no stopping that train. Okay, so I just wanted to make that clear. Shit tests are something that women do across the board. This isn't just an exiting a divorce situation. This is getting into a relationship, different times throughout the relationship, and of course then exiting said relationship.
So if you're not on your game, if you don't have strong frame in a relationship, you will go through betatization. It's not a question of if you will, it's to what extent, okay? Because even solid guys that write books on this shit are going to go through even a little degree of betatization. Trust me. Let's go to married men. Reduced sex drive is another big point. One of the big complaints, one of the most interesting here. Let's go to Google and let's do it right now. How do I get my wife to? Where is the add to stream? There we go. So let's see what. No, it's already filled it in. How do I get my wife to? And then the search results: love me again, lose weight. So women that aren't that aren't in love with their husbands, women that have become fat, women that don't trust their husbands, women that don't respect their husbands. That's big. How do I get my wife to forgive me? Probably some simp that like did nothing wrong that she's browbeating him on. To talk to
And you know, we could do this too. Whoop. Look at that. How do I get my wife to love me again? How do I get my wife to stop spending money? How do I get my wife to respect me? How do I get my wife to trust me? How do I get my wife to sleep with me? How do I get my wife to stop yelling at me? How do I get my wife to lose weight? How do I get my wife to shut up? Ooh, how do I get my wife to leave the house? Yep.
to me, to stop yelling at me, to listen to me, to shut up. How do I get my wife to shut up? How do I get my wife to listen to me? How do I get my wife to stop? So let's see here. Let's try have. Let's see if it recommends something. Come on. Google search. Give me some results, baby. Not cooperating. Interesting. I wonder if, what's that other search? Is it DuckDuckGo? Let's see what we get here. See what dudes are searching for. They probably pre-populate like Google, don't they? How do I get my wife to feminize me? Holy shit. Dudes are searching for that? Are you kidding me? Dude, look at this. How do I get my wife to love me again? How do I get my wife to feminize me? That's brutal. Man, I thought shit was soy, but that's soy right there. How do I get my wife to want me again? How do I get my wife to admit she cheated? How do I get my wife to stop boozing, lose weight? How do I get my wife to leave me? Interesting. Well, one of the most popular searches, and I'm guessing it's probably showing up on like discussion forums, is around sex. A lot of dudes are in sexless marriages too. Loss of power is also huge as well. I mean, if you're familiar with power dynamics, women have a way through the betatization process of stealing leadership from leaders, right? And if you're not good with having a backbone, you're going to get destroyed. Lack of power is a big thing too.
And we're going to pause that again real quick because this, you know, again, there are two types of women in this world. There are the types who are true to their hypergamous. I mean, all women are hypergamous, but there are those who are true to their hypergamous nature and won't go out of their way to destroy men, but don't really care about their involvement in a man's life. And then there are the real wives. There are the real wives, the real women who come at things with an attitude of, I'm here to help you, I'm here to help us, I'm here to help this family, and I'll support you in whatever way is possible that needs to allow that to happen for, okay? And this is why we talk about all the time in the dating world, vetting women for an amount of time, okay? You have to go through a long laundry list of questions. You have to go through a long list of vetting to see if those questions are answered with an alignment, okay? If the actions are speaking as loudly as the words are, so to speak, okay? In fact, I just got done talking about this as well earlier to another friend of mine. Not too long ago, I had a female over here who would come over here and she would bring her daughter. You know, big deal, single mom, I get it. You know, you can't just leave your kid, okay, somewhere. But she would come over, get her dick, and then leave, right? And then not too long ago, her and I had a very brief discussion before or after, I don't remember, after she had acquired this new beta cuck boyfriend thing. Her and I had been sleeping together. Of course, we'd been talking. And I wanted to see where things would go with this particular female. And first of all, there was already a lot of red flags. Daddy issues. She was, of course, single mother. mental issues to the point of needing medication, or maybe I don't remember if she was on medication or not, but she was at least um, in the anxiety, depression, and not split personality. I can't think of what the name of my head, but anyways, um, she fell under a very generic category of female. Um, oh, I wish I had a moderator ban that fucking cunt in my chat. Anyways, uh, so that's frustrating. Anyways, uh, where the fuck was I going with this? Oh, so she would come over, get her dick, and then leave. Come over, get her dick, and then leave, right? And she would only ever really hit me up, later in the evening with the WYD. Of course, what are you doing? Um, and so we ended up having this discussion of, well, how come you didn't take me more seriously, that sort of thing. And I was like, well, because you didn't do wifely things before I made you a wife. Like, you didn't come over and cook, you didn't come over and clean, you didn't come over and do anything. You didn't do any wifely things, right? And she's like, well, and her rebuttal, of course, is, well, I'm not your handmaid. And it's like, well, I mean, you're not, but as a stay-at-home mom, you are. Like, that your job is to cook, clean, and suck my dick. That is absolutely your job. And so she, so needless to say, her rebuttal is, well, I'm not your handmaid, and then I told you if we ever got together, I would do those things, and I'm like, aha, that's the problem. If we got together, you would do those things. That's not a gamble that I'm willing to take, and no man should take. Either you provide a man with those things beforehand, or you don't, and if you don't, then you get pushed down the pipeline. That's just how it goes, right? And the same, of course, applies for men, right? If a man isn't paying for dates, if a man isn't being masculine, if he's not leading your sexual intercourses, if he's not leading situations, if he's not leading conversation, okay, then obviously he's going to get pushed right down the pipeline with every other dude, right? Right, that's how it goes. So, needless to say, I find it funny that very frequently these situations occur and you don't give it enough thought. This is why we vet women. This is why you have to make sure that the actions are in alignment with the words, needless to say.
You'd be appalled at how many girls have confessed with me that they've had exes who wanted to get pegged. I used to think that was a joke. It usually leaves the girls traumatized. You know what's funny? I think I'm going to do a podcast because I have a bull in my group that basically cucks dudes. Women on dating apps convince their boyfriends or husbands to invite a bull into the bedroom, and he tears it up. That's one of the things that he does. So I'm going to throw some questions at him, and I'm going to do a podcast. I can't bring him on, obviously, because obvious reasons. How do I get my wife to cook a decent meal? Yeah. How do I get my wife to leave me? Yeah, that was one of the more popular ones towards the top. But yeah. Oh, by the way, somebody mentioned shirt. If you guys want this T-shirt, it's on the store tab. If you go to the YouTube channel and just go across to it's like community about, there's like a store tab. You can grab this shirt over there. Today's ZFG day. No, I can't get him on the podcast, Freelancer, because he doesn't want to lose his job. He doesn't want people to know that he's a bull. But yeah, I will, trust me, it's going to be a good one. Hey guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that short clip. If you did, consider supporting the creation.
Okay, well, that's enough of that. But, so, there's no benefit to marriage nowadays. To make a long story short, there is no legal benefit to being married nowadays. Now, that being said, this is not the pot calling the kettle black. I am a very, very firm believer in marriage myself, okay? I am well aware that walking into a relationship with the goal and intentions of being married and I'm well aware that walking into a relationship with the mindset and in game to have more kids and be married, that's a risky business that I'm risking. Okay, that's a risky game that I'm playing nowadays. Okay, the optimal situation would be to spin plates, date non-monogamously, excuse me, and you know, if I find someone excuse me, who is, you know, worth settling down with, to, you know, move them in, you know, make things look, I guess, long term. But, you know, ideally, you could go the marriage route without the marriage part, right? You get fucked for taxes in regards to being married, right? The only benefit to being married is like homeless shelters and things like that. When you fall in hard time, there are some places that you can't get into together as a family. There are some smaller ends of the spectrum. You know, buying a house, you have usually you have a better chance at getting a a bigger chance at getting a bigger, like, first time homeowners loan if you're married, that sort of thing. But beyond niche things, I could just move you in. You could legally change your last name to Rudolph, and you could be Miss Rudolph, and, you know, change your status on Facebook to married, I guess, and nobody would know the wiser, right? Like, you could go the route of not being married while making it look like marriage. That's a thing you can do, absolutely. And generally, that would be the advice to give, would be to go that route. Now, again, I do fall under the opposing category. I do fall into the category of people who do believe in marriage. Because much like Dr. Jordan Peterson's opinion aligns in, I do think that marriage does bring an amount of, I can't walk away from this, right? Like, or you can't, it's just harder, right? If we live together and we get into an argument, I could say, you know, take your kids and get the fuck out, you know, or whatever the case, you know, pack up your shit and leave, right? It's pretty much that easy, right? But if you're married, I mean, technically it's that easy, but it's a little harder, and it's definitely a bit more in an emotional side too, yeah? You know, leaving, and I just come from a perspective of a man, leaving a woman and some kids, 9 times out of 10 men don't do. Like, unless a woman is being just abusive or cheating, or just, I mean, at that point, completely fucking intolerable, then men aren't going to leave relationships 9 times out of 10. Barring those, of course, those exceptions. Women, however, do. Now, I'm not a woman and I can't speak for a woman, but I've spoken to many women who have gone through divorces, who are going through divorces, who are thinking about going through divorces. And while the respect isn't present, while the attraction isn't present, there's still that tethering of the legal part that's just a little bit, you know, that keeps it together. So there is an amount of psychology, in my opinion, that goes into marriage, and I do think that there's an amount of psychology that goes into the ideology of the importance of marriage and being bound together legally and spiritually. I do think that that's an important ideal. So with that being said, we're going to get into this next video.
Like, for you, what is
Me personally or in general?
you personally?
How about this? I give you what in general guys want, and then I'll give me.
Okay.
No, we just want you. We just want you.
No, you do.
Fuck the general.
Yeah.
We get what they want on the live. We
Well,
get
no,
what
no.
they
She
want.
asking. She wants both though.
Okay, I'll give both, but like, because the thing is that I'm not gonna lie, my requirements are a little extreme, so I can't like necessarily.
You're like
I don't want to
10.
speak for all men, but
We want
you
to
can
know
tell.
yours. Tell them this just is.
For most men, they just want a girl that's gonna be, you know, number one, probably not a hoe, attractive, submissive to a degree, right? Obviously, follows his lead, and just not a pain in the ass, man. Men are very simple to please, actually.
Oh God.
Yeah. So
So what about you?
What about you?
it would be those things, but probably to like another level, like
said
definitely.
Go ahead.
No, I
baby.
wanna know. I want you
We
to
want to
say
know
it.
what kind of bitches you want.
Yeah.
What?
Because you be
what
having the
is
most shit to say about women. So what is in your eyes? What's a
10.
woman like to you that you really will
Because
like?
you need a mannequin.
Well,
Yeah.
she just needs to be compliant is the biggest thing.
She needs to just shut her
Meaning-
fucking mouth and not
Meaning
say
she just gonna
shit.
sit down and
Man,
listen to
Chris,
whatever
switch
you
the camera,
saying.
man. What was that?
Meaning she's just gonna sit down and listen to whatever you have to
Submissive.
say, like whatever you want to do. Like she just
well,
gonna shut the fuck up
it's
and
not.
do it.
See, this is the thing. Women, anytime I say be compliant or be submissive, women always take it to the extreme and
No, I'm
make
asking.
it like, oh, you're chained to the house and you can't do anything. No, it's just that you understand that I lead, you follow. You don't challenge my authority or give me a headache or some other stupid shit.
That's not
And I
respect to
completely
her.
understand that women want a guy that has to be competent first before they follow him. That's why I always work on myself to make sure I'm the best man that I can be, so that you can follow.
I've said it once. I've said it a million times. You have to be on point. You have to know who you are, where you're going, and what you're doing. Whether it's, I mean, financially is definitely a part of that, but who you are, where you're going, and what you're doing as a man. Without those three things, you are very difficult to live with, and you know that as a man. We know this in our heart of hearts, and women know this from dealing with us. Okay? When you don't know who you are, what you're doing, or where you're going, all bets are off. Okay? Before you can demand anything from any woman at any point in time, you yourself have to have that shit figured out. This is why we advocate go to the gym, work out, read some books, educate yourself, put yourself in a mental and spiritual state of peace so you have something of substance to bring a woman into, okay? Because two people don't come together. Not nowadays, okay? Two people don't come together. A woman enters a man's frame, and that's where she stays until your frame drops or loosens, okay? A woman enters a man's frame, and that's what she's attracted to, is your lifestyle, your, your lifestyle. I mean, what you are, what you represent. Excuse me. So it's important that you have that shit figured out prior to engaging in any kind of relationship, before you engage in any kind of sexual activity, for that matter. No, I'm not saying you can't go out and go get laid. I mean, far from. I would, in fact, probably encourage it. Just go out and go get some pussy, if that's what you want to do. But, that being said, while you're spinning plates and getting your yum-yum, when you make that step, when you make that bridge from spinning plates to, okay, now I want something monogamous, or even, fuck it, I don't want anything monogamous, but I want to take this to a more serious level, from spinning plates to being more serious, okay, you have to have your own shit figured out first. Okay, that's important. That's why we tell you, focus on you, worry about you. Get your finances in order, get your mindset in order, get your mentality in order, get your emotional state under control. Maybe you're suffering from low testosterone, maybe you're suffering from some PTSD, maybe you're just lost in general and don't know where you're going anymore, right? But you have to get yourself under keel in certain areas of life to even begin to want to take those steps, right?
That's why I always tell guys it's very important to work on yourself, because as a byproduct of you working on yourself, your girl's going to have more respect for you. That's why I always say your girl comes like 5th place in your priority of things you got to do as a man.
So what's
So wait,
What
I
is that?
basically I got out of
What's
that
number
was
one?
basically a bitch that
What's number
ain't
two?
got shit going for herself.
No.
That just stay home
That's
He didn't say
and
that.
just follow Myron all day like a puppy, his puppy.
Yeah,
He didn't say
that's
that.
what it's.
Whoa.
He
Whoa.
just
Whoa.
want a
That's
puppy.
where you get aggravated.
See, this is amazing. What I just nothing I said resembles that whatsoever. But you have to take it to the extreme. This is what I'm saying. Like anytime you say the word submissive or compliant, girls immediately
Triggered.
attribute that to, oh, I gotta be in the kitchen making sandwiches and I can't
No.
leave and all this other shit. It's like, no, it's just that I understand as a man that for me to lead effectively, you need to listen to what I'm saying. You
But
need
you
to follow
also
me.
understand you have to make her feel comfortable enough to be submissive.
Of course, I said that earlier.
And you feel like you
I literally just said that 10
have
seconds
that
ago.
capability.
As a man, to make your girl submissive, you have to be the best version of yourself at all times, and your girl has to be like 5th on your list. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't know about fits, but
It's gotta be-
I
What's
hear,
the
I
four?
hear
What's the
everything
four
else
before
you're
her?
saying, but fits
What's the
sound
four
crazy.
before her?
Not even
Your
fourth
career,
or third.
your career,
I better
making
be up
money,
there
your
next-
ambition, the
next
Your
gym,
career
taking
and
care of
making
yourself.
money is like the same thing. So
You like gym-headed bitches.
Well, here's the thing: you can rise through without necessarily making more money, but you can gain a little more status.
okay,
So
so
you
your
get a promotion
career.
at your job, your career, earning money, your investments, your fitness, your mindset. All these things have to be taken care of before your girl.
Yeah, the shit that brought you around. How you got there if you ain't have all that?
There you go.
The same things that it took to attract a woman need to be maintained to keep that attraction there. And unfortunately, women are attracted to men that don't prioritize them.
The same things that have attracted a woman to you to begin with, you have to maintain. If I had maintained the same masculine-ish, rugged-ish complexity that I had when I met Sage, there's a very good chance her and I would still be together right now, among other things, of course. But that complex, masculine, I don't give a fuck dude got real beta over the course of 7 years. And further still, being a stay-at-home dad, staying at home playing video games all day, not really cooking and cleaning. I mean, yeah, but not really, right? Let's be honest. You know, you being a fucking bum overall, right? Who you are, what attracted you to begin with is what you have to maintain. At least that's a bare minimum, if not going up, right? Again, like we heard in this, in the last video before this too, you have to be compelling, right? You have to have something going for you in order for a woman to be attractive to you for any amount of time. This is important, okay? You have to have some kind of destiny, some kind of ideal, you have to be something to have that attraction, to have that oomph there, right?
Yeah.
Myron look like the type of
so
nigga
weird.
that
I
like
hate
a
that.
bitch that wakes up.
Yeah.
Oh my
I be
God.
gone. I don't
Working
care.
out.
I go
leave
to
niggas
sleep.
alone real
Smiley
fast.
Mike.
Yeah, you have to you have to lead. You have to lead by example, and you do that by making yourself the first priority. Because here's the thing: when you're a man and you make yourself first, your girl's gonna benefit off rip. When men make money and become successful, they think, how am I going to provide for my family? When women make money and become successful, they say, how can I be independent of a man? That's why I'm saying women that make their own money and are successful are fairly useless to guys a lot of the time, because when women make money, it changes their mindset. They don't make money for the same reasons we do.
So there you go. You need a woman that's small-minded.
Where did he say that, bro? Are we on the same show?
Aaron, turn off her mic.
Are we on the same show?
No, turn off her mic. Turn off her mic. I'm getting aggravated now.
Did I answer your question?
Turn
Or
off
no?
her mic.
Did you? You didn't answer.
No, did
Hello?
that answer?
Yes.
Okay.
We still hear you, Smiley.
I'm playing.
What about
devil's
you, Fresh?
advocate. My
Me?
bad.
Damn.
What do I look for in a girl?
Like, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Someone that's attractive, one, feminine, on some level, not a hoe because in America it's tough, and then four I would
Low
say
body
like
count.
But every woman is a hoe.
that's what I'm saying. On
What's
some
a high
level, not a
body
hoe.
count?
What the fuck?
I don't agree with everyone.
What's a high
as
body
whole.
count?
Yeah.
Yo, every
Listen.
woman to me, it got
Listen.
whole
5.
fucked up ways. They just not gonna let you see it.
Exactly, but guess what? Behaviors will tell you over time.
Yeah, you'll be there's
Yeah.
there's
But
certain
it's too
traits.
late. You already in
certain
there.
traits.
You already dated her.
No. Like
Y'all took pictures.
No,
Y'all
no.
posted. You
No.
was with a hoe.
no. I'm saying we gonna see what's up. We gonna date, do our thing, but over time I'm gonna see who you really are.
Men are different. Like if you're with a girl and you find out that she was like a hoe, you might break up with her, or you might not take her serious after that, or you might demote her. But like with a woman, if you're with a guy and you find out, oh my God, he fucked a bunch of chicks, you're not really gonna lose attraction for him.
At all.
You won't.
No.
You really won't.
Man,
That's what I was trying to explain earlier. Like when a guy has sex with a lot of girls, he has to bring value. You can't get girls with being a loser all the time. You have to do.
Men are homemakers, not hoes. You have to remember this. This is important. In order for men to be players, in order for men to get pussy, in order for men to have any kind of bedroom attention, by the way, 1 out of 3 men are not having sex currently. Fun fact. In order for a man to be a hoe, in order for me to have the options that I have, I don't give a fuck. I'm clapping for my damn self. I worked hard for this. In order for me to have the poo-tang, all the poo-tang I want at the drop of a hat, right now, 11:25 at night, Southern Idaho. Get here. Okay. In order for me to have that power, you have to. You got to know who you are. You got to know where you're going. And you got to know what you're doing. I mean, how much you make matters too. I ain't going to cap. How much you make matters too. But you have to have yourself in order first. I've got no fucking teeth. I got man titties. Okay? I got the boobies. I got the boobs. The boobs, Chad. I got a gruffy beard. Okay? I'm not the best put together. I mean, normally I'm better off than this, but I have my shit straight for the most part. I really don't have my shit straight. I got my mentality straight. I know what I want, and either you're going to give it to me or some other bitch will. That's just how it goes, right? And that's why I'm not afraid of walking away. That's why women can't scare me into walking away from me. I've had women come and go. Does it suck? Sure. But at the end of the day, I've had to learn the hard way that I've got me. Women will come and go. There's only one motherfucker who will love me unconditionally on the face of this earth, and that's my daughter. Period. All day. Okay? And not even unconditionally, because obviously you can treat your kids shitty and, to a point, of course, then they'll end up hating you later in life. But that's a topic for another time. But you have to have yourself straight. Okay? That's you can't get around that.
Do something right, whether you're good looking, you have money, you have status, you have game. You have to do something right as a man to get sex.
Yeah, and the last thing for me is adding value. So, for example, let's say I have a business, right? And I need somebody to maybe like help maybe with some files or like some paperwork. Cool. You see where I need to fit in? You fit in?
You
Of course, duh. But like that's where I see like package for me like attractive, not a hoe,
So you
loyal.
gonna fuck your secretary?
I mean, shit.
Yeah, men are more than willing to do that.
But yeah,
Guys, they down, bro.
But what's a hoe though? Like everybody got such a broad definition.
It depends
of
on the
hoe,
man.
like-
It depend, every guy's different. Some guys might say, I want a chick that's a virgin. Another guy might say, I'll take a body count of 10
But
or
it's
less.
2022.
Some guys might say 20 or less. Like every guy has
What you
different
say?
tolerance levels.
Girls,
What you
I don't feel like
Ten
no
years
one's
older
gonna
now.
be honest.
10?
Completely.
5 is you. I could tell. You the 5
Again,
guy.
my views are very different on this, so it's not important what I think.
Oh, it's not. I thought this was your.
Yeah,
it's
but
all
I mean,
about what you
I
think.
speak in generalities. Unlike the girl that was on before, I don't attribute the entire show to myself. I just speak in generals with men.
Not even when we asking you.
I mean, if you really want to know, I'm gonna go to the Middle East to get a girl, my future wife or whatever.
Oh
her
yeah,
name
they
is.
ain't fuck nobody.
I'm Middle Eastern.
They waiting for
I'm
you.
from Syria.
You got a kid though.
Yo. Oh God.
All right. Yeah. So, but that's like when I'm like ready to have like a family and shit.
So what's biggest
That's right down road.
biggest turn off?
Yeah.
For me?
biggest turn off.
A hoe, 100%.
So you take aggravating over a hoe.
Facts.
Lazy.
She
You
nag
take a
all
lazy bitch
day.
over a hoe.
Lazy.
Because here's the thing, like as a man, you can build a woman up, 100%. I don't think you go as a woman.
You
We
can't
not,
change a
we,
woman's
not, we not to the
personality.
building yet. We talking like in that moment when you're figuring out a bad trait of a woman.
Here's the thing. There's some traits that can be fixed, and there's some traits that you just can't. You can't fix them. So if she comes with a past, well, she no longer qualifies.
So
for
she will
future
continue to
with
be a
me.
hoe, or you just feel like she always gonna be a hoe.
We're gonna pause it again real quick because this is. I've had this very discussion talked about several times. Several times over the last 3 years. Queens don't make kings. Okay. A king can take a peasant and make her a queen. Okay. Kings can. Okay. Queens cannot. Queens, more importantly, will not. Will not. Women do not care about a man's struggle. They wait at the finish line and they fuck the winner. That's the cold hard truth. That's how it goes. Okay. When women get money, they think, how can I help myself? Okay, what can I get for me? When men get money, they think, what can I do for my family? What can I get? I tell you, I get my daughter books. And I'm not saying that I'm, the greatest guy in the world. How do I? Unfortunate. I need to ban this fucking robot in my chat. Anyways, I'm not saying I'm the best dad in the world, but when I get money, when I get that come up, the first thing I do is get my daughter a book. I get her a pretty glass thing from, one of the gas stations. The cute glass dolphin or the cute glass butterfly or the glass ladybug, those sorts of things. She loves those pretty things. She's a girly girl through and through, my daughter. Whoops. What the fuck? Oh, I must have fucked with something. Oh well. Anyways, men don't think in success the same way women do. So, I don't even remember where I was going with this. Let's continue. This fucking robot in my chat.
She was once so.
If a girl was a hoe in the past, we did a whole episode on this.
I watched
where you watched it.
I watched a lot of stuff.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Stop the cap.
We did an episode. We basically did a podcast where we found out the higher a woman's like body count, the lower the chances of her being able to be in a stable marriage.
And also patterns of behavior. So, for example, let's say you're a hoe in the past, right? Some habits that you picked up won't change, and it's not your fault, but it's just a habit. For example, you might find when you're with a guy, you like him, but you just can't trust him. So you kind of sabotage your relationship, and then it's just like a whole headache. So I would say your behaviors and patterns, sometimes it fucks you up in the future. So.
A whole headache? Get it?
Yeah. I mean, every guy's different. Every guy's different, but I'm willing to bet for most guys, if you gave them the option, in the top two would be she can't have like a crazy past.
Yeah.
In the top two, she'd be pretty and don't have a crazy past. Because everything else, let's say you meet her, she's lazy. Well, you could teach her to stop being lazy or make her teach her how to become an asset.
The best girl is a girl next to you that nobody fucked, but everybody wants. That girl right there, she gets the whole carriage and everything.
Yeah.
House, everything.
But how y'all know?
The best girl is the one next to you who everyone else wants to fuck but can't. That's a fact, Jack.
If it's true or not, how y'all ever know if it's true or not? If what a woman is telling you.
That's true.
She can tell you, I only had sex with 3 men.
There's
are you doing some type of
we've done shows on this. There's a bunch of ways to tell for girls for the streets that you'll be able to pick up on that she might not be wary of.
Name three.
But there's certain girls that like have certain name what?
3
or 1.
Name
3
or 1.
So here's a funny one.
Sure.
He said sure.
When you're at dinner with a girl, her phone's always down.
My phone stay up.
And then I would say another one is D&D. Because it's funny, right? When she's with you,
Bro,
she'll put
that's
on
my sister, bro. I'm tired of this whole keeping her shit on now.
Huh?
And what's the third? What's
No, she said her sister keeps her shit on D&D. She's calling her sister a hoe.
Yeah.
No.
Objection, relevance. People put their
I mean,
phone
these are
on.
like just like small things that come up. It's not an exact science to it, but I'm just saying like things that come up. And then thirdly, she's always out at the club randomly.
That doesn't necessarily.
So ladies, let me explain this for y'all because you guys are. See, I knew they were gonna do this shit.
Yeah.
Take one piece to say that doesn't mean she's a hoe. Here's the thing. It's like with crime, right? Like when the detectives gather the evidence, one piece of evidence on its own is weak. However, if you take all those pieces of evidence, circumstantial evidence, and you put them together, it paints a picture of this is the only way that this can make sense. Like the YNW Melly murder case, right? They have a bunch of circumstantial evidence. They have shell casings. They have bullet trajectories that shows
My brother did not do that.
There's no way.
We're not gonna bring him up. We cannot bring him up right now, please. Let's not bring Melly. Nothing about Melly. Let's not mention him on here.
It's an example.
Okay, yeah. Let's not mention it.
Bro, he fucking did it. Anyway, keep going on.
He did it, bro.
Like, you
I'm
can say
telling
what you want, but
he did
anyway,
it. My brother didn't
I
do
know
that.
that case. That's fine, but I mean, I went
Because you
through it.
part of the feds. Well, you
That has
used to
nothing
be.
to do with anything. That has nothing to do with anything. It's a state case.
My brother didn't do that.
It's a state case.
I promise you, he didn't do that.
Smiley, feelings with facts, right?
Yeah, bro.
Relax,
like,
relax.
yeah.
Chill.
It's.
You're fine.
I broke the case down. I looked at the evidence. I'm using it as an example. They have a lot of circumstantial evidence. Each piece of evidence on its own may be weak, but when you combine it with other pieces of evidence, it paints a picture where there was no other way for this except for this to happen. Same thing with girls identifying if a chick's a hoe. She does one thing that might be street activities, but if she does all of them together in tandem, now it makes sense.
I get what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
Definitely, yeah.
So same thing.
It's not just one thing.
I mean, if it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, chances are it might be a duck.
So you guys had a point where I said it's at a club. It doesn't really make sense. So tell me your opinion.
Oh, and that, about the club?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, because I love the club. Like, and it's like
A girl can
I
have
like
fun
to hear
without
music.
going to have
Like,
fun and
I like to
fucking,
see.
like-
To be honest, I like to see. I like the setting. I like to hear the music
the
loud. Where I
ambiance.
can't hear nobody. I like to whisper to my friends. music, partying, the
Looking
hookah, the
good.
dancers. I go to the club all the time, and I tell my nigga, you could come with me. So it's like I just feel like if you in the club setting all the time, you know, I don't feel like it
Y'all
makes you a
always
hoe. I
make
just
it
feel like you
seem
like
like-
the club setting. I'm not saying that specifically that's what you were saying, but I'm just putting my opinion on it. I just feel like if you like the club setting, you just like the club setting. I don't feel like it makes you want to be around men more because they be in the club. Women can like the club too, because I love strippers and music.
Hold on, question for you. Do you have your own table
On table as in what?
in the club?
Oh yeah.
So you buy your own table?
Yeah.
Every single time?
Not every single time, no.
Okay. So how often do you,
You
buy a
drop 10
table?
bands on the table?
10
They don't be
That's how
10
much they
that
cost?
you buy by the bottle.
Oh damn! What clubs y'all go to?
We
Y'all
go
to
two bottles, get a
I don't wanna
section.
go
What
to
club you go
those.
to? Two bottles, you get a section.
Hold
Yeah.
on, real quick. So
on it.
how often do you buy a table? Out of 10 times? 2,
They
3?
talking about
live
10
and all
times,
this shit,
live
bro.
and Oh well, I'm
We
talking
don't
about
go
like
there.
normal strip clubs. They
Like
like,
the
you can go in there
office.
all the time, like mostly all the time. Go get a bottle. They put you in the section.
My point is that like most times
I don't get
more
invited.
not, you're gonna be at a guy's table, right?
No,
No.
we buy our own tables,
Yeah,
our
like-
own
Oh,
bottles.
y'all might be
most
different,
of
but
the
most girls,
Yeah, because
Oh, I
I
got
see
table.
the girls that go and they get invited and then
Look
they
for
get
sponsors.
look. They gotta wait to get shots passed to them. They gotta wait to all the moving. Or they're never in control. Me and my friend, we want our own shit.
And I think it just depends on if you really know the nigga or if he just on some
You know what I'm
promoter
saying?
to come to my club.
Because they don't try you like that. You waiting around for shots, looking like a bum. Like nah, ain't even that.
Like a little
Ain't even
Yeah.
not expensive to go to.
Wait,
club.
I mean,
one
here's the
bottle.
thing. Like most girls, the reason why we say a girl going to a club all the time is a red
Yeah.
flag is because most women that go to the nightclub don't spend their own money.
Yeah.
So if they're not spending their own money,
Makes
what
them
are
a
they going
hoe?
to be doing? They're going to be there with a bunch of guys
Mhm.
that are spending the money. And when guys spend money on women in nightclubs, they expect certain types of things,
That
or they're
doesn't mean
trying
that
at
they-
least for it.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to succeed, but if you're in a loving relationship with your man, why would you put yourself in a situation like that?
I get you though, because one time I went in the club and I told like, if I don't see drinks going, I'm not gonna even look at you. I need this. I was drunk as hell too, but I told him, you got to keep buying them drinks. I don't want to drink. Buy them drinks, or I'm not finna talk to you. Not
Okay.
dancing on you. Don't call. Don't pull my hand. Nothing. Like I gotta see you buying them drinks. So I understand that a lot of women do go for male attention, but I really don't go looking for male attention because I keep a mean mug. I'm not actively dating
See-
like that, so I don't look
see,
for male
here's
attention.
the problem. You don't look for it, but it looks for you.
Yeah.
And in that environment, niggas gonna hit you up.
Yeah, you look
Shit,
cute.
they
They
don't
didn't
be
invite
looking
you.
at-
So
So
come
if
on,
you got a-
Make you a hoe.
So no, hold on. If you got a man, why you in an environment where niggas are gonna hit you up?
They
Like,
do
for
that at
example,
Walmart though.
You
That's
want
like
your
walking to the
man
store.
in that
But
environment.
I'm talking about a single woman.
Yeah,
I'm not talking
single
about
as
somebody
hell.
else.
I'm
I'm not
talking
talking about a
club.
single woman.
Yeah, we're talking about if you want a relationship with a guy,
Oh,
like
if you
that's just
want a
something that you should
relationship-
just be willing to
Yeah.
give up.
Yeah.
He's saying the
Right.
club
Oh,
makes you
No,
look
I
like a
agree.
hoe.
I agree
If
with
I'm,
that.
with, if I'm with a man and he don't like
I'm
me
gonna
being
wanna
in
be
the
in
club,
the-
I'm not
Oh,
gonna be in
yeah.
the
I'm
club.
gonna be
Hold on,
available.
you got to talk in the mic when you speak. What?
If I'm with the man and he don't like me being in the club, I'm not gonna be in the club. But I'll prefer if I'm with you, like let's go out together. If not, if you prefer me to be home, let's be home together. Then we'll find something
Compromise.
else to do at home.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Well, all we're simply saying is that if a girl has a man at home and she loves him, admires, respects him, why are you at the club? It's just it's like strange
no,
behavior.
yeah, if he doesn't
That's
like it,
true.
then
Well,
most
nigga, you
definitely.
be the DJ then. You be the DJ. That's why
You
I
know
go to
what
the
I
club so somebody else
But
can play
it's
the
still-
music.
She can still have
But-
her girls' nights and not like niggas like to.
Facts.
Oh, you cheating? You going to the
Girls'
club?
nights.
Like yeah,
Girls'
just like
nights are
y'all
the
have
worst.
boys trips and
But
boys nights.
y'all
and
have
shit.
guys' nights,
A lot of
right?
Females can do the same thing, and they
Listen.
not going out and
Y'all
cheating.
have
They
guys'
just
nights,
literally-
right?
How many times does a guy go out and get approached by a girl? Probably
What?
maybe 1 out of 10.
I don't know.
They
The type
do
of
fine.
girl I am,
Hold on.
I'm approach a
Hold
guy
on.
if I want
These
to
girls be
pursue him.
bold.
You
Bold
go
as
That's
out.
how I am.
You get approached all
I
the
grab a
time.
nigga
That
hand.
doesn't mean that I'm gonna cheat on my nigga.
It doesn't matter.
That's anywhere I go. Anywhere you go, you're
You might
gonna
be
get
too
approached
drunk
by
one
men.
time. You might be
He's
too
saying as a
late. You
man,
never
he
know.
doesn't even
But
want
why
his
do it
woman
have to be the
approached.
women? Why
Don't give
just
me that
can't
look.
be y'all
'Cause I can
niggas?
see you outside, nigga.
I only
I
talk
be
to a
chilling.
nigga
You
that
already
talks to
said
me.
my
if
face
he
be
gonna
like
give some
this.
money.
Don't get a bad
So don't
bitch
do
if
that.
you don't want
Resting
nobody
bitch face.
talking to her.
That's facts.
Okay.
Say it again.
Don't get a bad bitch if you don't want nobody talking to her.
Mhm.
It's
Okay.
boundaries, of course, but like you know that your woman is gonna be
We
getting
can't help
approached.
it, and niggas try to act like we can help it.
They
Like,
try
oh,
to.
that
This
nigga
how
talk
men
to
do
you
the
like-
math.
Oh no.
You was talking
You
to
can
me.
help
Hold
it.
Hold on. We gotta take some responsibility.
it.
You absolutely can help it. It's just that girls don't like to be have
Conservative.
men have standards. My thing is this: listen, if you want a relationship, you're gonna have to do relationship type duties. And if you don't, that's fine.
That's true.
If you want to go ahead and be able to go to the club or go to girls' nights out or go on girls' trips, fantastic. You can do that, but you're not going to get a relationship with me. You're not going to go around with a for sale sign on your neck when I paid full price for the car. I'm not going to look like a clown.
Okay,
Wait,
so
it's
going
no
out to the
girls'
club is
night.
a
But
for
not
sale
every
sign?
girl
Yes.
girls
But they
night.
he said posting Instagram
Yes.
pictures is a for sale sign. So
We're talking
But they
about
gonna have
Sexy
boys'
Instagram
nights. So
pictures.
no
So what
social
you supposed to
media,
do?
no
We're
girls'
conservative
nights,
and
no
normal.
clubs,
So
no
Basically, sit
vacations.
your ass at home, or
It's
you
just
cheating,
you.
or you're a hoe.
What was that?
It's just all you. Like,
What do you mean?
you
Like,
like they're gonna have to be around you. Just you, no girls' nights, no vacations.
Well,
no,
why
no-
does she need to go to another state or another country with her girlfriends who are all probably more than likely single and promiscuous?
But what if
They
what
want-
if they all have niggas? What if we all got niggas and we just want to have a
That's
girls
different.
trip?
But-
What
but-
if y'all
but
even come, but we do our separate thing? We go out
If
of different
we go,
clubs.
that's one thing. But having your girl go on a girls trip with her single friends, which is the scenario that it happens
Just
most of
say
the
you
time.
clingy.
thingy.
Then you can't go
If
out
you
with
wanna
your
come,
buddies.
It's not about being clingy. It's about being a man and respecting yourself and understanding that your commitment comes at a cost.
No, I understand that.
So if I'm gonna go ahead and give you the title of my girl or my last name, you got to put some
But you
respect
have to
on
have
that.
trust.
And I'm not gonna hold on. Let me finish my point.
Okay.
I'm not gonna just let you go around and act crazy and act like a fucking hoe when you have a guy at home. Now here's the thing: if you want to do those types of activities, going to the club, drinking, doing drugs, hanging out with your friends, girls' nights out, whatever it may be,
Right.
that's fantastic. But you're not gonna get commitment from me.
But trust.
But
like
do
if you
you-
trust your
you're working
woman,
on
why you
it.
don't
I
I
want
trust,
her going
I
out?
trust women to be themselves. And what do I trust women to be? Emotional, erratic, and be very, how do I say this? Swayed by their friends.
I don't know. You didn't
I
do
have
it
a
the right
question.
way.
Everyone,
Like,
Because-
I have a
because-
question.
And when you
have to go
introduce,
the
here's the
right way.
problem. When you introduce alcohol, peer pressure, maybe the anonymity of being
pressure.
in another state or another country, whatever it may be, shit happens.
But you're gonna date. You're obviously
You're
gonna
right.
date somebody that no matter what alcohol, whatever, she's still gonna be loyal to you.
That's
Yeah,
why
you
you
have
gotta
to have
You're
boss,
gonna date a
baby.
bitch that once she gets
You
the
gotta
alcohol
date
in
a
her system,
boss.
she
I got a
wants
question.
dick.
it doesn't matter because
need a boss
you
bitch.
because you lose. No, I don't. Definitely not.
Yes, you do.
Because when a girl drinks alcohol, her inhibition gets lowered to a degree. She can love you and everything, and then she drinks and just gets fucked up. And
Yeah.
Every like you're
Yeah,
saying
when I'm in
all
love,
women- I'm not saying all
when I'm in love
handle
with
their
one
liquor
man,
like a
that's
nigga.
all I see.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying
all I
all.
see.
I'm
I
saying
don't
the
know.
chances.
I get home, I go drunk to my nigga.
You know what I mean?
Bro.
I'm trying to get drunk
Listen.
to go home to
Yeah,
my
facts.
niggas. Because it's about to
Yeah.
get real active when I get home. You know what I mean?
about
I'm
to get
probably
really
going home
chill.
early. Actually, I'm probably gonna be in the
So
club
here's
for like
the
an
problem.
hour.
You guys care more about what you want versus what the men want. I'm just telling you what the men want. Like men would prefer their girl not to do shit like that. Y'all gonna do what you want to do anyway, and you guys don't give a fuck what we think, so which is fine. But I'm just telling you guys how most men think and what most men want. It's just that they don't have the balls to tell a girl, yo, listen, if you want to do this type of stuff, that's cool, but you're not getting a relationship with me. Most guys can't say this because you guys are gonna say the things you guys are saying now. Well, why
But-
can't I do it? And this isn't fair and all this other stuff.
Wait,
I'm just saying
No,
my
I-
commitment comes at a
I had a
price.
question.
No,
I
That's
prefer my
yo,
man
can
come
y'all stop
outside with
interrupting?
me.
Yo, chill. Like all I'm saying is that commitment comes at a price, and most girls are not willing to pay that price.
Yeah.
They want to have you at home as the boyfriend while simultaneously being able to exercise options and be out like they're single.
Commitment comes at a price, but most women are not willing to pay that price. Okay? I've told countless women this. I've said this for 3 years. I've got no problem dating a single mom, barring the exception that she can, of course, prove herself to be of value to my life, okay? I've got no problem stepping in and playing baby daddy. Hey! Psst. Fucking cats. I've got no problem stepping in and taking care of kids. I've got no problem stepping in and taking care of bills. I've got no problems stepping up and doing what I have to do for my family. That's not the issue. The issue is doing that for free and not at the cost of a ring, not at the cost of loyalty, not at the cost of sex, and certainly not at the cost of you being helpful to me and my life and my purpose. Okay? This is a viewpoint that I think most men sit on. We've got no problems taking care of business. We've got no problems taking care of the house, the bills, the kids. We've got no problems, in fact, even to an extent, dealing with your promiscuous past. But the problem becomes doing those things while you run around with a for sale sign around your neck.
And I'm saying that's not acceptable for you as a man because as a man, you have to bring so much to the table to even be able to get a girl. She can't sit her ass at home or not hang out with certain girls that are thotties or not go on girls trips out. Like, that's crazy to me. This is supposed to be the mother of my children. Like you don't qualify for that. That's what I'm saying. Like when a man is with a girl, he's vetting her for marriage and a serious relationship, being mother of his children. You don't want the mother of your kids out
This is a
twerking
broad
at a club and
topic.
shit. That's ridiculous.
It's a broad topic.
One thing. I got one question.
All right, Fresh, go ahead.
It's not saying she can go out. She can go out once in a while. We're not talking about every night, but once in a while, it's okay to go out because y'all gonna do y'all thing.
We're not the same.
So
Why?
you
How?
don't.
If a
Get
man
into
fucks
it.
another chick, it's not the same as a woman fucking
Here
another
he
guy.
goes.
Because it's emotional. and
It's
for
not
guys,
the same.
just
No,
a
it's not.
night.
I don't think it's the same.
It's
either.
not the same because
Sex
y'all
is
really
nasty
fun.
for us.
It
Y'all
just
were
depends what type of woman you are too. Because I
Yeah.
sometimes I just really look at sex as sex. I
I
don't
got
always
something
look
to
at it
say,
as something
though.
emotional.
Wait. I got something to say.
Go ahead.
Y'all say all this shit, but y'all go fuck and cheat on us. Ain't on good women with bitches who be in the club selling
Show
pussy.
her.
Yes.
Okay.
So the easy
Yeah.
ones. They
Those
act
are
like
the
they
easy
don't want
ones,
none of
though.
that.
Those
But
are the easy ones.
That's the main bitches they cheat on
Because
us
they're
with.
easy.
If we're a good loyal woman,
Men
they
go for
cheating with
easy, not
whores.
for better. They go for easy, not for better.
That's facts.
They go for the easiest thing they can see.
So, not only is it not advantageous for men to get married anymore, but there's a long laundry list of things that women need to go through to be considered for wife material. Primarily being obviously not a hoe, not being promiscuous, being loyal, and of course, being pleasant to be around. Okay, I've met many women, single and not single, in my life, who were very pleasant to be around, who were simply just great in conversation, who had good conversation, who were all around great women to have a conversation with and be around and to interact with. And I've had, of course, some women who were not so pleasant to be around, who were very miserable. Oh, bless you. Who were very just not pleasant to be around, right? I've met several women, and I'm not, saying anything about Sage, okay? But Sage, when I had met her, was not a hoe. I mean, she had some hoe shit going on. But as far as body count was concerned, when I met her, she didn't have that high of a body count. Which was one of the reasons for consideration. Okay. So needless to say, that's not your cord for eating. Okay. So needless to say, not only is it already disadvantageous to get married anymore in today's society, which is unfortunate, but if you are going to go down that route like I am, which, is my personal belief and way of thinking, then you need to go through a very lengthy vetting process. You need to go through and make sure that these women are doing wife things before their wives and making sure that the actions are aligned with the words before you go investing, possibly future kids, lots of alimony, lots of, It's not yours to bite. Don't you fucking purr at me. Yeah, you can lick, but don't bite. Good girl. Anyways, that's enough of my ranting and raving for tonight. Go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We do all kinds of stuff. Not really. I mean, we talk mostly about dating, and of course, you know, we stream League of Legends and World of Warcraft and play with kittens and such. But, you know, being self-aware is important. Knowing what you have to do and where you have to go is important. And that's what we aim to do here at the tavern. We sit down. Okay. We have us a drink. We sit down. We have us a drink. We discuss things. And we create problems. Problems? No, we create solutions to problems, right? We talk about problems, we get solutions going, and we work on ourselves, and we try to be the best that we can be, because, you know, God knows no one's going to do it for us, right? Women are born, but men are made, okay? And you reach a certain point in your life where you realize that women are born, men are made, and you have to do something about it. So start making yourself. Put in the work. Focus on you. And get yourself to a place where you're comfortable and happy in your own life. And the women will come. In the last 3 years, and I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I've never in the history of my life, for whatever reason, had an issue with getting women, getting attention. It's the right attention, right? It's